hour. You might notice that it's 6:10 p.m. We were supposed to start at 6 p.m. We've had about 10 minutes of some technical difficulties so far, but now we are rolling and we are very happy to be here. So what this is just kind of a way to reach out to some of our customers and clients, distributors, and everybody else, just to connect with you guys all across the world. Right now we are broadcasting at 6 p.m. here in Denver, Colorado, Mountain Standard Time. We've got Nick Hollis joining us from Salt Lake City. If you didn't know, Salt Lake is where Hewish Outdoors and Oceanic is based. That's where a lot of the manufacturing and the warehouse is shipping from and all that kind of stuff. So today we're gonna take a few minutes to talk to Nick Hollis about the brand, talk about the history of Oceanic a little bit, and then also dive into some different products, such as the 4.0 computers. We're gonna talk about the DiverLog Plus app, which is really handy. It goes hand in hand with the Oceanic computers. If you already didn't know, now you know. Got Antonio from Colombia here. What's up, Antonio? How you doing? Thanks for coming to the live show today. So yeah, we're going to talk to Nick about Oceanic a bit and about some products. We're then going to introduce our brand manager, Joe Platko, who's based in Monterey, California. He's an underwater photographer, really talented shooter, and he's got a ton of experience with Oceanic products. So we're going to bring him on, talk about some of his adventures and some of his experience diving with Oceanic worldwide. Hello from Vancouver. What's up, Heppel? Good to have you. Thanks for joining us today. All right, well then without any further ado, I'm gonna bring in brand manager, Nick Hollis. All right, 3, 2, 1. You're live, buddy.
What's up? How's it going, Bill?
Welcome. Thanks for joining us today, Nick. Yeah. So how's your day going? It's Friday afternoon at 6 p.m. So
it's a Friday and you're at decompression hour and I'm still at the office here. So
hey, this is my office. I never leave.
Yeah. Thanks everybody for tuning in. I'm Nick Hollis with Oceanic, brand manager with Hewish Outdoors. Really excited to be here and excited to have you guys. I guess just a little bit of history about myself and with the company. I've been a brand manager here with Hewish Outdoors for 3 years. I've been with Oceanic for much longer. My dad actually started the brand in 1972. And back then it was a much smaller product line, a much smaller company, just mass fins, snorkels, and camera equipment. And today it's obviously a lot larger, a lot more categories, dive instruments, regulators, things like that. But that's a little bit of the history. We got a lot of exciting products to show you guys today. Some we launched this last year, some we're launching this year, and we'll get into that in a little bit.
Cool. Before we jump into all that stuff, do you want to just maybe tell people about your experience with diving, kind of like when you started, when you first got certified, and I don't know, just what kind of training you've done, that kind of stuff?
Right. So I got started when I was about 8 or 9 years old. My first dive trip was, I think, to Grand Cayman with my dad and my brother Zach. For those that don't know, I have a twin brother in the same business.
Identical twin brother.
Yeah. Identical twin brother. His name's Zach. He's been called Nick more times than you would prefer, I'm sure. But yeah, we got started at an early age in the business and in diving. We started about 8, 9 years old. First dive trip was to Grand Cayman, and from then on, we really loved the sport, loved diving. Been in a lot of really cool places with our dad being, obviously the guy behind the brand, and yeah, that's how I got started.
Cool. And then you do a lot of recreational diving. You do some technical diving, that kind of stuff too. Is that right?
Yep. So started with recreational. Years ago, I got started in the technical side of the business. I'm also the brand manager for Hollis. So from recreational, easy recreational dives all the way through technical with rebreathers and side mount and things like that. So at some point we'll have a brand decompression hour, kind of like this for Hollis. Tune into that. We can talk about the Hollis line as well.
Hollis. There we go.
There we go.
Thanks everybody who's been joining us so far. We got some bunch of people here, somebody from Quebec, Argentina, Australia. Great that we're having people from all over the world joining us. That's really awesome. If you
I see
haven't let us
Mark.
know where you're from yet, please do.
Yep.
We've got Mark Jasso here right now.
Yeah.
He was on the Socorro trip with us several years ago, so that's cool.
I know, awesome.
That was a great trip.
Yeah.
All right, cool. So that's Nick Hollis, brand manager. Do you want to just tell us a bit more history about Oceanic? Do you want me to pull up any of these slides? Or you want to just keep going with
Yeah, that would be good. I'm not
what you're talking about?
sure what the group actually caught from the last.
Nothing. There was nothing. So we did
Okay.
have technical difficulties. 10 minutes. It was amazing. You guys should have heard it. We had all these great jokes. People were laughing. Well, just me and Nick were laughing because we were the only ones actually there.
We gave away a lot of free.
But we thought you guys were there. So they didn't hear anything.
Right. Okay. So about Oceanic. My dad started the brand in 1972. Again, with a very simple line of products from masks, snorkels, fins, and even camera equipment. As one of the earliest innovators in the sport, he actually designed a lot of his own equipment because back then there really wasn't a lot available. So he was designing his own camera housing, some of the very first underwater photography. He was designing habitats to live on shipwrecks for days at a time and do filming and recover safes from places like the Andrea Doria. So pretty exciting stuff there. But all of that history in diving led to innovation and designing his own dive products like dive computers. Oceanic is kind of known for designing some of the most innovative dive computers available. So from that to things like the data mask, we have also a full line of regulators and BCDs. So it's a pretty wide product line today, different than it was years ago when it was just those few products, but it's definitely expanded quite large.
And is this a housing that your dad designed right here?
You know, I think that it is. Back then, you know, there was only a few of the camera housings available through Oceanic, but that's probably one of them right there.
It's pretty cool. All right. So from here, we're gonna go into we're gonna start by talking about the Oceanic DiverLog Plus app. Is that right?
That's right. So we've had quite a few new computers launched last year, all of which are compatible with the DiverLog Plus app. And what's really unique about that, and the question we get a lot is, you know, how do these features benefit the average user? And before, with all of our products, kind of like the Geo, which we're going to talk about in a little bit, this is our new Geo 4 dive watch. Bill's wearing the same one. The menu system with these is easy to use, and you can change all your dive settings with it. But what's cool about the DiverLog Plus app is you can now go into the app on your phone, change all those settings through the software, and you can upload them to your watch. So things like changing gases, changing just your basic time and date functions are through the app, and then that just uploads to the dive computer. So products like here, the Geo 4, they connect through DiverLog Plus, as well as a few others, which we'll talk about in a little bit. But here's what the app looks like when you log in. You connect your products, you scan for the device, which is pretty simple. It takes only about 10 seconds to locate the device. And once you locate it, you select the device, open it up. A passcode will display on the computer, so you know it's successfully connected. And then from here, you can change all your dive settings, your FO2 for the gas, how many gases you want to program. So here's your gas mix or nitrox mix. So that's set to 30% for gas 2. You can set a third gas, program that. Getting into some of the alarm settings, you can change your audible alarms with a max depth of, you know, whatever depth you're diving to for that dive. Elapsed dive time.
There's just tons of features that you can access. I mean, all the features you can access really easily with the Bluetooth.
Right. You can change algorithms. So if your buddy's diving a more conservative algorithm, you could change that to match with dual algorithm. And then once you select sync, it programs all the settings to the dive computer, which is pretty quick.
Boom.
And now it's synced up. So there's also a copy of the logbook. I might show that in a second.
I don't remember.
Yeah, so here's what it looks like when it's connecting. Or sorry, downloading dives. So once you have the dives downloaded, you select a specific dive, and all that dive data is shown in a nice profile, and that'll pop up here in a second. So there's the profile for that specific dive, water temperature, max depth, the gas you were breathing, elapsed dive time. And from there, you could save it, you could send it to a friend, you can upload it to social media, you could even sign it if you're an instructor, you want your student to sign the dive log. There you go.
Boom. So yeah, it's the app itself is really user friendly and awesome, but it's also just the like being able to connect to it on the boat is so easy. Like I was just in Florida doing a dive trip, and we were switching back between a bunch of different nitrox mixes, and literally like you just pull out your phone, pull out your computer, you hold down the Bluetooth button for 2 seconds, connect to your phone, change your nitrox mix, do whatever you want to do. Super handy. And oh, there's the app right there, actually. Look at that. So you just connect to it, and it's awesome. No more, I mean, this thing is pretty intuitive as far as like going through the menus itself, but it's these days, it's just so much nicer using an app to do everything. It's just very convenient.
Even just like everyday functions. I mean, if you're changing time, there's a dual time option, so you can set different time zones on the main display. You can set different dates if you're traveling. It's just a lot easier through the app because it's just automatic. It syncs within a few seconds and it's done.
So we got a question if we would ever update the F10 freediving unit to have like the Bluetooth functionality.
You know, we've looked at that as possible that the F10 might go through a similar update at some point here, but for now, the products that are compatible are the Geo4. We just talked about that one. I got here the Pro Plus 4.0 as well. So that one, a similar update. It's hard to really show you guys on the screen here what that looks like, but a very similar display that we've had before in the Pro Plus 3, except the 4 has a much larger digit size and larger display. That also connects to Bluetooth 4.0 and DiverLog Plus. And we also have the Veil 4.0 here. It's hard to really see on the screen, but the coolest thing about this, besides the connection to DiverLog Plus, is how thin this new housing is. It used to be about a third taller, and now the profile is quite a bit thinner, making that really unique. And again, the connection to DiverLog Plus makes it really easy to change those settings. We really haven't talked much about how these connect to the PPX, but this is our color display. You guys have probably seen this before. This is our flagship in the instrument line, packed with different features and functionality. But the benefit to this, again, is that you can connect to that DiverLog Plus and make all your changes. So.
And that big color screen is pretty awesome too.
Yeah, that's right.
What are your guys' favorite Oceanic products? We've been getting a couple comments about a couple computers and that kind of stuff, but we're definitely interested in hearing what you guys dive with, what you've been diving with for a long time. I meet a lot of dive instructors, especially who have been diving with like the Oceanic Shadow mask for, whatever, 20 years, and it's the only mask they'll ever dive with. Also, a lot of people love the Geo just because it's such a, it's so sturdy and lasts forever. The battery lasts forever. It's super easy to use. So we're definitely interested in hearing what your guys' favorite products are, what you use the most, and any questions that you have about products as well. So please drop them down in the comments if you have any.
Yeah, there's a lot of people making, dropping in with comments from different places around the world. Thanks all you guys for tuning in and saying hello. We appreciate the you guys joining. There was a question from Donald Strong about, an issue he's having with the Pro Plus X, I would say contact our service department if you're having any problems with that computer. We'd love to take a look at it and get that resolved for you.
Right. And that TAC, TAC at HewisHoutdoors.com is our email for service. So just send those guys a message and you'll be set.
Right.
So is that, you want to move on? You got anything else to talk about with these computers here?
I really didn't show, I kind of went through those pretty quickly, but again, it's hard to kind of show you guys some of the products here on the screen, but here's our new Veil 4.0 with the new rubber boot. So this is the Navcon version with the compass on the back. This is a nice new rubber boot, which is again is slim compared to our previous model. The benefit for this is for anybody that has a prior Veil, that boot is reverse compatible with those as well, so you can upgrade that to the new rubber boot style if you'd like to.
Totally. Getting a couple other comments about the Excursion BCD. That thing is great, bulletproof, lasts forever. Awesome BC. And then the Jetpack BC is another really cool product. Our ambassador, Joe Platko, who we're going to bring on in a couple minutes here, loves the Jetpack. And he just did a trip to the Bahamas recently and dove the Jetpack the whole time. So we'll let him talk about that a little bit too in a minute here.
Looks like we have Hovey online too, and she asked about any other new products. And there are quite a few that I have. I have some here, and there's actually some that we intended on launching towards the middle of the year. Some have been pushed out a little bit due to the coronavirus, and we probably can't talk on them just yet. But I do have a couple new masks to show you guys, and the first one is one we call the Discovery. So there's the Discovery mask. And what we're trying to do with these two masks is address price points that Oceanic really hasn't had in the past. So this one here is going to be priced at $69.95. Super comfortable skirt, soft silicone skirt, has a nice overmolded feature on the top here for better grip, but really good visibility, is low profile, has a lot of features that you find in some of the more expensive masks, but that's the first one. This will be available in 5 different colors. And then we have the Duo, which is here, and I got the yellow and black one to show you guys, so that's pretty cool looking. This will become more of an entry-level mask for Oceanic. The price point for that is $45. This is available in 7 different colors, including sea blue. We got aqua, or sorry, we have aqua, pink, blue, yellow. So there's quite a few different colors for this guy as well.
Nice. And then it's a little bit pixelated, so just so you guys could kind of see the masks a little bit here. Let's see here. So this is the Discovery. Got the different colors, different color skirts and all that. Right. And then the Duo with the 7 different colors.
So the cool thing about the Duo also is that you have some different options for the skirt. So if you prefer a clear skirt versus black, this has those options. We also added red, and we haven't had red in the Oceanic line for quite a while, but we're looking at bringing it back in a few products. This will be the first one. So red is a nice option to add.
Cool. One more thing that I wanted to talk about while we got this up here is our new buffs. So we've got these new buffs from Oceanic, and they were in your slide deck, Nick. So you want to talk about them a bit?
Right. Yeah, I only put this in here because we've been talking about the buff for the last couple of weeks, and this is something we came out with earlier this year, just as one of our swag items. And I think with everything going on, this is not a medical grade mask by any means, but with everything the CDC is saying about the non-medical fabric mask, we have a lot of requests for these. So we now have them back and they're available for purchase. Oh, Bill's got his on right now. Look at that.
There you go. So they're super comfy and nice. They're made out of a polyester material. And I've been wearing mine around the house because I've been stuck indoors for like 17 years or something so far. So I've been wearing these around the house, wearing them for yard work. I was wearing it, doing a bunch of yard work instead of wearing a dust mask. I was just wearing this guy the other day. So they're fun. They're really good. They're also great for on the boat for sun and protection from the elements and that kind of stuff. And if anybody wants one, we're selling them right now. You just got to email us at sales@hewishoutdoors.com. And yeah, cop yours.
Looking good, looking good. We got a few other questions. Let's see here. Anything new from Hollis, from Saul? And we're gonna have another kind of a separate decompression hour for Hollis, I think next Wednesday, if we're lucky. So
next Wednesday.
That'll be a separate meeting.
But thank you for the question. Yeah. Love the buffs. I like to hear. I love it too. Cool. Well, all right, cool. This is a good time to bring in our ambassador, Joe Platko. He's been absolutely ecstatic to join the conversation. So I really can't hold him back any longer. So let's go ahead, Mr. Joe Platko, ladies and gentlemen. Joe!
What's up, Joe?
How you doing?
Doing good, man.
Hello, everyone.
Welcome, Joe. How are you?
I'm doing well. Can't complain at all. How are you guys doing?
Doing good. Doing good.
How's the quarantine there? How you holding up?
Oh, I'm doing okay. Luckily, I have a backlog of images I still need to edit, so at least gives me something to do right now.
Always have a backlog.
Have you been in the water recently, or you respected the quarantine and not diving right now? What are you doing?
No, just sitting at home, doing some running at least to try to get my cardio up, so I can have still a decent O2 consumption and all that stuff when I get back in. But
nice.
Not being in the water at all recently, unfortunately.
Well,
that's some good forethought, Joe. Exercising so you can have better consumption when it gets back to it.
Yeah.
Proud of you.
Hey Joe, where was your last dive before this all started?
Last dive was I actually got in right before the shelter in place. I was able to get in Monterey and had about 30 to 40 foot visibility. Got to went out and played with a bunch of sea lions. So it was a good last excursion before being high and dry.
Nice. I'm pretty jealous, man. I miss Monterey. The dive sites here in Salt Lake City are not as pristine with as I'm used to in Monterey, but my last dive was at the Crater, and for those that don't know, the Crater is in Heber, which is up in the mountains. It's like a 60-foot deep hot spring, which is great for us because at least it's a dive site we can go enjoy, and it's kind of a unique place to dive, except the water temperature is 90, 95 degrees, so kind of different. But that was my last dive.
Well,
it's pretty cool though.
Here when
it's a really cool dive, yeah.
Say that again, Joe.
Said we'll be happy to have Nick back out here when travel resumes again.
That's right. I'll be there.
That's right. The Crater in New Mexico is pretty cool though. So we're based in Utah. We're based in Salt Lake City, obviously, and it's so cool because it's hot spring. You can dive in it, and it'll be snowing outside, freezing cold, snow all over the place. You just open the door to this thing, and there's just like steam blowing out. And you go in, and there's this awesome crater that you can dive in, and it's hot springs, and it's what they have in Utah. So better enough, that's for sure.
It's actually a great
At least
place.
It's warm, exactly, Daryl.
Yeah, it is warm, really warm.
Cool. Well, I want to show a couple of Joe's photos to people so they can kind of place his face with some of these photos that they might have seen in the past. So I'm going to bring that in real quick. Let's see here. So these are some of the photos that some of Joe's favorites. Where is this, Joe?
That was in the Bahamas in Tiger Beach.
Ooh, Tiger Beach. Has anybody else here dove with the great hammerheads before? Let us know, and let us know where if you have. Let's see. Another great hammerhead image. Joe, you do a lot of black and white images. Why do you like to do black and white versus color, or what do you like? When do you prefer one over the other one?
For the last one, it was pretty much white sand. So, even if I'd shot that in color, it still pretty much would have been black and white.
That's a great photo, Joe.
Oh, thank you. And in this one, I just wanted to try bringing out focus to the hammerhead shark. So by turning it black and white, I don't really want to show the background. I thought it was just a school of fish and then hammerhead going through it. So I figured black and white would be a little bit better for that. And also,
then, sorry, real quick, David Stevens just jumped in. All of these images are available on the data bank for retailers and distributors. So there's a lot of great lifestyle images on the data bank if you guys are ever looking for any.
Hey, Bill, and also there was a question from Agung about marketing tools for selling Oceanic. So yeah, as David mentioned, check the data bank. There's a lot on there as far as selling tools for Oceanic for all of our dealers and distributors. So definitely good to check that out.
Absolutely. Joe, is this from Monterey?
Yes, that was from in Carmel at Monastery Beach in the Shallows. It's one spot where there's still tons of kelp at. So.
Oh, we got Oren here is dove with. He had a great hammerhead swim over him, circle him on a diving little caiman. That's awesome. That's really cool. I've never seen one myself, so jealous.
That is cool.
Data bank rocks. Woo! Thanks, John.
Props to the data bank.
Joe, is this a sea lion?
That is a harbor seal.
Oh.
Also from actually the same dive site, also in Carmel. Yeah, that they'll be should be around June, July is when you kind of see them coming out, and then they're by far my favorite animals to be with in Monterey.
Here's Joe with the Delta 5 reg.
And the jetpack going on too. You just can't see it, but I love that.
Oh, that's kind of a good time to talk about that then, eh? So nice. Joe, what are your favorite Oceanic products?
Favorite Oceanic products? Probably by far my favorite one are the manta fins, which I happen to have with me. Haha, look at this.
Look at that.
Just for being in Monterey, all the diving is pretty much shore diving. And so the fact that you have built-in spring straps is phenomenal for me. I love it. I can quickly get out before waves knock me over. And then on top of that, these are slightly larger foot pockets. So when you're using a dry suit or thicker wetsuit booties, they fit perfectly. So I love them for that. And then also got the Delta 5 reg from the picture, which I'm rocking in that picture as well.
Nice.
It breathes so well that I was the Bahamas trip was the first trip I used it on, and basically haven't stopped using it ever since.
Awesome. Yeah, I love the manta rays too. I mean, I prefer a heavier fin because typically we're diving, if it's a technical dive, we're diving with a lot of gear. In your case, a lot of camera equipment. But if you're diving multiple cylinders, a rebreather, a side mount, typically you prefer a heavier fin. But the manta ray, it just provides so much thrust that I have kind of shifted over on some of my diving to the manta ray because of that.
And that's that they're so light. I mean, if you are traveling at all, it's hard enough trying to figure out all your other weight restrictions. So to have a fin like that that's so lightweight, you just throw it in and don't really have to worry about.
Absolutely, yeah.
Lightweight, plus they're long enough to get that thrust, but short enough to fit in a bag really easily.
Yeah, so because of the weight.
Are you diving the jetpack in this photo too?
Yes. So same thing as I was mentioning about the weight for the Bahamas trip. That jetpack was so lightweight that it was kind of threw it in my my kit as well. Got to try it out, and unfortunately that was actually a testing unit, so I wasn't able to keep that one. But it was definitely one of those I loved it for travel.
So if you guys aren't familiar with the jetpack, it's basically it's a bag that converts into a BC. So you have a bag that attaches directly to the BCD, and you actually use the straps of the BCD as the straps for your backpack, and then the backpack attaches to the back of it. So it's really cool because it's like a carry-on BCD that's also your bag. I'm trying to bring it up real quick here.
While you're
So I can
checking that
show you
out,
guys.
a few other questions, comments. Thanks everybody for joining. But we've had a couple from Ryan about the computers made by Pelagic. So yes, Pelagic's always built the computers for Oceanic ever since day one, and great quality for the computers, and we're really happy with everything there. So yes, that is still the vendor for our computers.
So just so you guys can see this really quick, won't spend too much time on it, but this is what the jetpack looks like. So those straps on the front, that's what you use for when you're using the backpack or the BCD itself. So that's what it looks like without the backpack part on it, and just the BCD. And then there it is, kind of getting stuff in the overhead. So it's just like it's pretty. Also, the bag itself is just giant. You wouldn't believe how much stuff you can fit in the bag itself. So you can fit all of this in the bag, and then it comes with your BCD as well, because it is the BCD. So rags, fins, like all that can actually get stuffed in there all at once, which is pretty sick. Pretty sick.
A week's worth of clothing and gear for diving on a liveaboard.
On a liveaboard. Top fan. Cool. Thanks, guys. Joe, what else? What kind of oceanic products do you like to dive in Monterey in colder water?
In colder water, I was able to use the Geo 4 and love that, because I am horrible at doing DiverLog stuff. So the fact that I can sync up to my phone automatically and not have to worry about writing everything out, that was awesome. And actually, as you had mentioned, some of the Oceanic products that people have used for a while, I still have my original Veo 2 that I got after my first dive class, and so I love that I can use it as a backup even, for if anything ever went wrong with any other gear.
Cool. What's happening right now in California as far as diving? Are people still able to dive at all, or is it pretty much not happening right now, or what's going on?
I'm not sure for all of California, because it seems to be county by county. So like down south, I have no idea what's going on down there. And honestly,
what about just Monterey?
Even in Monterey, I'm not exactly sure. Like, I've been out of it at all. I know all the dive shops are closed down, so no one can get air right now. And it sounds like everyone's staying out, but I know with Monterey, said if you go out for workout activity, like that was allowed. So it's like whether or not diving is considered a workout activity or not. But I think most people are just trying to stay indoors and keep distance, and then just wait the month or two. Plus, springtime often has low vis anyway, so who knows what conditions we're going to be missing.
We will dive again.
Yes.
We had a question from Danielle about the weight of the jetpacks. We were talking about that. It's about 5-6 pounds for the BC, another pound or so for the backpack. Really,
that's right.
Yeah, the entire system is super lightweight.
So it's 6.25 pounds for the BC, and then 8.25 with the BC and the backpack attached to it.
Right.
So I mean, a lot of bags, a lot of carry-ons are 5, 8, 10 pounds alone without having a BCD in it. So it's pretty light considering that it's a big chunk of your gear as well.
Right.
Daryl knows as well. Where's your guys' next dive going to be once this is all behind us?
Oh, wow. I have a tentative trip planned to Florida later in the summer, hopefully once things get a little bit better and the diving opens up. And then beyond that, I have a trip planned to Truck Lagoon in December. Really, really excited about that. That's a rebreather trip with some of the Hollis fans on the CCR. Again, if things get a little bit better. So how about you, Joe?
I'm just going to get into Monterey as soon as things settle down a little bit. And then I also want to go up to Northern California and hit some of the lakes and do some freshwater stuff.
Nice.
No one ever really goes out there. That'd be more free diving than diving, but and hopefully get some fishing in as well.
Joe's an all California boy. Joe dives without gloves in Monterey. if you've been to Monterey, you know how crazy that is. The water is like 50, 55 degrees at the most Fahrenheit. I'm sorry. I'm not sure what it is Celsius. Somebody tell me. But Joe dives without those. He dives 3 millimeter wetsuit with no gloves sometimes in Monterey. So he's just like made for it. He just loves it.
That is impressive.
Is Jeffrey going to truck with you, or does he just want to?
I guess he is now. Sounds good.
10 Celsius, by the way. Yeah. 10 Celsius is what Joe dives in. 3 millimeter wetsuit, no gloves. Wild man.
Nice. Yeah, I'm not that brave.
Well, cool. Do you guys have any other questions for us? If so, let us know right now. We're just kind of winding down now with this decompression hour. But if there's any other last minute questions for Nick or Joe or myself, we would be stoked to hear them. And then also, just so you know, we're also doing a series of these videos. We're going to be doing one for, all brands, Eagle, Hollis, Atomic, and Bear in the next 2 weeks. So definitely keep an eye out on your email and then on the social media pages as well for the other live videos that we're going to be doing. And we're always interested in your guys' feedback, and also interested in if there's certain subjects that you want to hear about in future live videos. Get at us, get at us however, social media, Facebook, whatever.
So yeah, since you guys are all listening, we did a survey recently where we were looking for some feedback on products, on service, on how things are. If you guys have any suggestions you'd like to see for any products, it doesn't matter what it is, we'd love to hear that. Just type it into the chat box here and let us know.
Absolutely. Well, with that being said, I hope everybody has a very safe weekend. I know it's really hard to tell when the weekend stops and ends with so many people working from home, but this is a Friday and tomorrow is actually the start of the weekend. So enjoy it, I guess. I might be doing some local diving in my backyard this weekend. Me and Morgan got a big inflatable pool that she wanted because she's pregnant. She wants to float around in it. And I was like, I might as well go for a local dive here.
Awesome. Well, enjoy that.
If you're trying to service your Oceanic, just go ahead and send the email to TAC, T-A-C, at hewishoutdoors.com, and they'll set you up. They'll get that Pro Plus X issue figured out right away for you. Yeah. Any other swag you have coming? That's a great question. Really good question. Nick, what do you think?
So we are working on a new hat for Oceanic. I don't have one here in my office, but there is a new hat. I think you're actually wearing something similar to it, Bill. We're also working on a new shirt. Should have that done here pretty soon. But beyond that, if you guys have any suggestions, just let us know. I think those should both be out here in the next few months.
Oh, so soon.
Cool. Sounds like people want swag. Say that again, Joe.
So soon, Oceanic's gonna be filled to the brim with hats.
Yeah.
I sure hope so. That was great. What else?
You said you wanted puns. I said I had to at least come up with one pun.
At least
you got one in there. Stocked. Oh yeah, somebody's asking about availability too. Are they anticipating any problems with keeping stuff stocked in the next month or so?
No, if we're just talking about products, going into this slowdown, we had a really good inventory of all categories, and we still do. So whatever you guys need during this time as you're getting ready for the dive season, once things open up, if you guys need anything, we have those products in stock to support you. In terms of swag, if that question was about just apparel, I believe the hats are available now, buffs are available now, and shirts should be available again in the next month or so.
Buffs, stay out now. Get them if you want your apparel. This is apparel. You get it while it's hot. Get it before it's gone is more like it. Get them while they're here. All right, cool. Well, thanks everybody for joining. Nick, Joe, thank you for participating in this decompression hour. I'll let you guys get going. Enjoy yourself a nice local beverage as well, like I intend to do.
Thanks everybody for joining us and tuning in. We appreciate it. Have a great weekend.
Bye, guys. Take care. Thank you for joining.
See ya.